Bloodline broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are here for another fun-filled edition of the Bloodline After Show. It's still season 1. We're on episode 11, though, tonight.
Only 2 more.
It's amazing.
Two more.
Actually, it's not amazing because we've been wanting to rush through it since the beginning, but we're getting there. We're getting to the end.
Only
It's
people on the
coming.
planet.
I know.
Only ones left.
It's only taken us 3 months, right? Or how many months will it have been by the time we...
About.
Right.
About.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's been a fun journey for us.
It's been an excellent journey, and this was an excellent episode too. So much to talk about. We're very excited.
I literally had anxiety, I think, for the whole
I was
episode.
sweating.
I did too.
Yeah.
no
I
way.
was too.
I hid underneath the blanket.
Yes.
Okay.
It was intense. It was intense for all of us, as you can see. You can always find us, of course, on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. And for all of your podcasting, you can check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes. And I am your host, Blake V.
And I'm Alison Dean.
And I'm Kate Aquillano. And I'm Marielou Mandl.
Perfect, ladies. And we're mixing it up a little bit tonight. We got a little
Cheers. Cheers.
of the
Cheers.
blood for the bloodline.
This is the blood. This is the blood?
It is.
Okay.
It is. We've
I
gone
like
there. We've gone there. Marielou, kick us off and let us know where we can find you.
Oh, you can find me on all social media at Marielou Mandl. I keep it simple as well. You can find me at Kate Aquillano.
I can be found at the Alison Dean everywhere that I am sold.
And wherever popcorn is.
And
right.
wherever the popcorn is.
We have popcorn tonight too.
At least I keep it consistent.
She does. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media. And you can also take a peek of Allison and I on our YouTube show, Winos and Onesies.
It's true, you can.
That's
and then
right.
we're just reaping the benefits. Yes. Good to be friends. Yay!
There you have it, guys. Okay, so tonight's episode was huge. I feel like this is like we're getting down to the final few.
And we've got our caller.
Oh,
We have our guest today.
even better. We had our special guest coming in. Bill, are you here on the line?
Is he there yet?
I am absolutely here live.
Thank you for
Glad-
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Bill Kelly plays Agent Clay, the DEA agent, who's the one who's bringing it all down.
He's
Yes.
bringing it all down.
I mean,
indeed.
he's DEA. You don't mess with DEA.
You do not.
Come on.
I learned that from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I was about to say, I learned that the hard way. I'm like, Allison, what are you getting into?
Allison knows firsthand.
No,
Absolutely.
not so much. But Breaking Bad was certainly educational
Yes.
for me.
Right, so we were just talking about how this episode was pretty stressful for all of us. Bill, I'm sure that you've seen all of it already, but do you remember in episode 11 if you were like on the edge of your seat also?
You know, the funny thing about watching this show is, and I have seen all of them, being an actor, you look at this show and you kind of forget you're in it because it's so captivating.
Oh, yes.
And, then I get to go back and watch the parts and go, well, do they make that look good? But it's an amazing show. I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And, yeah, episode 11 is, it really starts to come to a head.
Yeah, and it's amazing the process that you guys went through as actors too, because it sounds like we've spoken with a few members of the cast as well who've said everything was a complete surprise. They read their script, they did their lines for the scenes they had, and it sounds like you had this experience as well, that when you watched it, everything was a surprise, and it's like you were all watching it for the first time.
It really was for us, because you basically got what you were shooting that day. We did not get full scripts of every episode, so a lot of it was, I'm looking at these different pieces that we're shooting and going, how in the world is it going to fit together and where's it going to go? And I really didn't have an idea of the whole premise of the show because I don't come in until episode 9, so I had no clue of what happened. And Enrique and I were riding the set one day, and we're trying to figure out what happened first, and have we done that yet? And do we know that yet? So it's it's a little confusing to do, but to see the finished product is just wow.
Right, and there's a lot of major actors in this show, and you've got like really amazing scenes with our favorite Kyle Chandler. Was there anyone on this cast that you were super excited to work with?
You know what? They were all incredibly, they're all incredibly gifted actors. No, I mean, it was just an amazing experience anytime I got to work with anybody, but Kyle was definitely the person I spent the most time with on set. And he was he's a great guy. He would come and, knock on my door and go, "Hey, you want to go rehearse lines?" And so we would go in.
Love it.
That would be Kate's dream.
That would be my dream. I am a huge Kyle Chandler fan.
That sounds so supportive, though. That's so excellent.
And then, Ben and I didn't have a lot of dialogue. We had one small scene together, and then that was pretty much it. But everybody was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better cast. I'm amazed.
I agree with you.
That's what we keep hearing. So what, you play a DEA agent. Did you have to get any special training? I mean, I probably wouldn't even know how. I mean, you guys aren't like busted into buildings, but I wouldn't even know how to hold a gun correctly. So did you have to go through like some DEA special training at all?
Well, the funny part about it was we did have a technical advisor on set that was military and law enforcement. Stephen Cohen, great guy, real nice guy. He is my right-hand man. You'll see him, and I'm trying not to reveal too much because I can't remember
it's
how much.
hard, isn't it?
And Allison's over here like, tell me.
Ends up, and I don't want to reveal too much, but we have a scene together, and he's a great technical advisor. So yeah, you kind of think, do you learn how to hold a gun? You wouldn't believe how off we were on holding weapons.
Right.
Oh, I can believe it.
So there's a lot of fun that goes into it, but there's a lot of places where you get people that are in law enforcement and they sit back, watch the show, and go, we'd never do that.
Right, exactly.
So we try to make it as realistic as possible.
That's great. And from all the other actors that we've talked to, it seems like all of the local Florida actors really bonded during this show. Like, you guys have a little crew.
Yeah, we've become, very good, friends. We're friends on Facebook and Twitter.
So cute.
That's how I found you. That's how I found all of them.
What's that?
That's how I found all of you, by stalking everybody on Facebook. I'm like, we're friends, Florida.
Yeah, stalk me out on Facebook. Look me up on IMDb. It's kind of funny that yes, and we did have a great, repertoire between the group of Florida actors, and Gino and I were actually in hair and makeup together, and they were doing him up, and I knew he was it was the Rossi's demise that day, and I just kind of. Looked over and I'm like, man, I'm sorry.
Sorry, dude.
Your time has come.
I know, right? And from what he said when we spoke to him previously is that he did not see it coming, and I'm sure nobody saw it coming. So when your end is there and it's time, you're really surprised, and it really is heartfelt. It seems like.
Yeah, you probably don't need much acting because you're so bummed to
you're so
leaving.
shocked it's the end.
Well, Kyle and I were, the first day that I met Kyle was in episode 9 when I'm stalking him outside the bait and tackle shop of Wayne Lowry's. And we had in between shots, had started talking about different things. And one of the crew guys, I think it was Kenny, they were talking about the rap party. And they said, Kyle turns around and goes, "Are you going to make it to the rap party?" And I said, "I hope so." And he goes, shouldn't have said that. A lot of people die on the show. And I'm like, great.
Who's tipping you off?
But I did make it to the rap party, and it was,
good.
It was a lot of fun. That was actually where I got to finally meet Sissy Spacek. I kept missing her at every occasion.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
Well, that's fantastic that you had the chance to meet her, right? If you'd gone this whole entire experience without, what a loss.
That would be such a shame.
Yeah.
It would have been such a shame.
Well, so far, all I've got to look at was her chair, and that was,
Just not as
just
interesting
not good
as her.
enough.
It's not the
just
same.
not good enough.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Bill, one thing that we really like to ask too is your shooting experience in Florida. We hear that it was quite atrocious with the mosquitoes and just the weather and everything. What was your take on it?
It was extremely hot. and I know Kyle and Enrique, Kyle and Ben rather had to go through a lot more mistreatment of the weather than I did. But we have one scene that's outside that was just sweltering hot, and Steven, who plays the other DEA agent, actually just sat there and just sweated in the roadway.
Ooh.
And when they said back to first position to reshoot, we didn't even have to guess where our marks were because we just looked for the sweat stain.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's awful. But that
Nice.
Florida heat is real. It is not a joke.
I'm sure that is not fun.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. Well, Bill, we would like to jump on some of the topics of episode 11. Are you good to stick around with us?
By all means.
Perfect. Okay, great. So,
and before we jump in, we just want our audience to know that we very much appreciate all of your comments and tweeting and YouTubing, and we read everything. And there's this excellent survey happening right now on podcast1.com. We would love it if you would go there, take the survey. It's a pretty brief survey. It just kind of will give us a better idea of what we're doing good and what you like and what we might be able to improve on. So please go to podcast1.com, click on that survey and take it, and you'll be even more awesome for that. So there you have it. Now let's dive in.
Bill's at home. He's taking the survey right now.
He's like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
went right to it. Okay, so one of the biggest things that we kind of wanted to jump on first was the ending of the episode. And that, of course, was the whole reveal of the drugs that Danny had been hoarding in the shed, and the whole reveal of it, John and the rest of the family finding him out and calling him out, bringing him into the station, and just everything that kind of occurred after that. Yes. And it was so crazy. I mean, I feel like just the way that they kind of just went about the whole hunt of it all was really crazy to me, Like, I did not see most of it coming.
Nope.
So first we have John running into Carlos, who then takes him to the shed and shows him what is in the shed.
Well, John didn't run into Carlos. John was like, John, you better get in my
get
car.
in this car right now.
Carlos, you ain't leaving. I don't know what you're doing. It don't matter. Do you have your keys?
Like,
You're coming with me.
I have my AA meeting. He's like, get in the car.
Yeah.
He's like, that's great. Get in the car.
At that point, AA don't matter.
And I thought it was really interesting that I felt like more so in this episode than other ones, they really played with shadows on John's character, where he was like very creepy, like in the light, in the shadow.
He meant business.
He was creeping up on people. He was getting stuff done.
Yes. I think he's fed up. He's done. So we're definitely getting
he says that. He's like, you're not my problem anymore.
He's doing whatever it takes.
He is wiping his hands of all of it. And that includes getting rid of the drugs.
Yes. Okay, so which kind of leads us into our next moment when he finds what's in the shed. He immediately lets Kevin and Meg know, and then they have their kind of their huddle about what's happening. And that whole conversation was so interesting to me. But just their opinions on it, were just really not what I was expecting. So we have John, who was like, we've got to report this right off the bat, no questions. We have to get ahead of this situation. And then here we have Meg, the lawyer of the family, kind of suggesting, well, maybe we don't. Maybe we don't want all this aftermath.
because she was being smart.
Well, yeah, I mean, DEA agents if there are drugs found on your property, they are going to seize that property. The inn will close down for X amount of time because they need to investigate.
Or forever.
And Meg is just thinking about the family business. And I think deep down they all know that Danny did this to like sabotage
to mess with them.
The family business. Because it's not just like affecting them individually. This is their livelihood. This is their legacy. This is their family.
So, Bill, when you were watching and you got to this part of the season, what were your feelings on it? Like, should they move the drug? Should they leave it? Or were you like a little personally invested of like, no, I'm the agent.
I'm a DEA agent.
I was actually just like everybody else out there. I just was totally torn as to what they should do. It's one of those situations where anything could have gone wrong at any second, and you gotta hand it to the script writers for this show. I don't know how in the world they pulled off so many great twists and turns and made this part of the episode that much of a nail biter. But it was really good. My thought was, go dump it in the bottom of the ocean.
Yes.
Oh, my thought was, wow, you're really contaminating the fishies.
They're very excited fishies now.
That's where your mind went?
Yeah, I was like,
Allison, you're so environmentally friendly.
couldn't you just like have burned it
it?
somewhere? Yeah, that's what I thought.
But then you would essentially be smoking it, I think, which
Yeah,
is
like
not as
there'd
good.
be.
No,
it'd be
just like get one of those trashy bin things and like stick it in there,
There
light a
are-
fire.
There's a lot of drugs there.
Then do it in batches. I don't know.
But did you guys know, like, think John had this ultimate plan? Because I didn't see it coming. I thought he was going in to talk to Agent Clay, who was just letting him know what happened, and like the DEA would take it from there. I did not see this whole like back plan of manipulative stuff happening.
I was shocked about that too, because whenever he calls up Meg, I was like, "Oh, y'all got caught."
I thought it was Meg and Kevin working on their own and like against John, and I was like,
Yes.
wait, what's going on?
Turns out he's the mastermind.
Yep, I completely thought that as well. I did not even really see Meg and Kevin kind of coming together to do that and really carry it all out. I guess as they all planned to do, you know? I just did not see that plan in the cards.
We did a bad thing.
We did.
They did a very bad thing. I mean, you have
They
to and just
did.
think he is the sheriff. Like he is the head of the police department.
But I think he also knows at the end of the day, you know, as much as he knows that his family are not drug lords or anything. So I think all he was doing was he was being human in that moment and not being a sheriff and saying, well, I don't want my whole family to burn in hell for this.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
really
the thing. They
Danny
as a
thing.
family have more to lose than Danny does as an individual at this point. So maybe that's kind of what he was weighing out. When he went to Clay, and he and he unveiled the plan.
Bill, to
That's
you.
right, to
He
you,
came
Bill.
to you.
And he unveiled the whole situation, and he said, "Look, I'm coming to you before this gets out of hand. I want to let you know before anything gets crazier. This is what it is." And then seeing Agent Clay's response to me was also a little surprising.
I actually was also surprised.
Wait, in what way?
Okay, I thought that as colleagues, as friends, as I don't know, as, you know, associates, you know, kind of John coming to him, it would be sort of more of an understanding there. I feel like Clay was really like to the books, definitely was like, hey man, we've got to go through everything that we have to do, regardless of you, regardless of my relationship with you or your family. You know, this is bad. We have to, you know, we might have to seize, you know, assets and freeze bank accounts and do this and that, and you know.
But based on the relationship that we've seen in prior episodes, I don't feel like he's been any other way towards John, in the sense that he seems like a by-the-book kind of DEA officer. I do feel like there were moments, though, within the conversation where we did get some, like, heartfelt, you know, I don't know, some retorts where he was like, don't you know we're going to have to...
Like, do you understand this is going to happen? But I also think, like, he was being so by the book because we're not just talking about, like, what kind of drug is it? I don't even know. Is it cocaine?
I think it's cocaine.
Seems like cocaine.
Yeah.
It wasn't like one thing of cocaine. It's a lot of cocaine, and it's also linked to this guy who's linked to murders. Like it's a bigger situation.
Yeah.
And I think they've been investigating it a while. That it's just too important to solve for it not to be by the books.
Bill, what was your opinion on that scene? Kind of as Agent Clay responding to John, coming and fessing up. How was your feeling on your response to that?
Well, first of all, in defense of Agent Clay, I think he's not a bad guy. He's just misunderstood.
Yeah. Okay. Well said.
That's a joke. No, seriously, I think there's a part of Clay that when you're a cop and you've got other cops, you kind of watch out for each other and you kind of sympathize with, you know, what's going on. So I think there's a bit of Clay that looked at him and went, I get it, and you're putting me in a corner here. What am I going to do? But maybe we could, you know, try to figure out something. Mm-hmm. So I think Clay has some compassion of what John's going through, especially since John is, you know, from what Clay knows, is coming to him with his hat in his hand and saying, this is what's going on. I'm just being honest with you. It's all bad. Mm-hmm. And so I think Clay's kind of been pulled into that, you know, to John's story there.
Yes, and kind of another interesting point of Clay's interaction with this whole storyline, too, is that shortly afterwards, they bring everyone in for questioning. They bring in Meg, they bring in Danny, and John thinks they have him. John thinks that this is going to be just the total smoking gun that gives it away. They've got him in the station. They're going to arrest him. It's all done. And then they release him. And then John has that moment with Clay where he goes, what do you mean? How'd you release him? What's happening? And Clay just says, there's not enough. I can't book him on what we have. You know, which was also just another, like, you know, sting to John, because he's just like, he's just exhaustively trying to nail Danny down on something, and it's just like not materializing.
But I mean, part of the reason why they couldn't nail Danny is because there was no drugs in that shed, you know, which was on him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he was just being a really good actor in that moment.
He was. And I really thought that up until that point that Carlos was the one that had tipped off Danny or somehow was involved in the removal of the drugs from the shed, until they showed that it was Kevin and Meg. I had no idea it was Kevin and Meg.
See, my mind didn't go there. I feel like when John threatened him and said, if I ever see you on this property, I'm going to kill you. I feel like, no, I knew it wasn't Carlos.
And I felt like Carlos had some sort of loyalty to Danny, though. And even though John threatened him, I feel like he might have said, okay, well, physically I can't step foot on your property.
I can find someone that can?
Yes, but I can let Danny know about this and take care of this behind your back until you get on it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was thinking.
So that
was a surprise to me to see Meg and Kevin involved in that way.
I feel you. I can see that.
I was surprised.
I can see that.
Yeah. Well,
I can see
before we move on with this topic, I want to talk about another show that's like Florida centric.
Exciting.
So Bloodline's Florida, and then we have like NASA that was in Florida, and then so there's a show coming this summer on ABC that's the Astronaut Wives Club.
Ooh la la.
Right. So it's like back in the 1960s, and they're sending all these guys to space. But the celebrities of this are the wives, because people become obsessed, like the way we're obsessed with like reality shows.
They're these elite group of astronauts. They're going to space. Who's left behind are their wives.
They're representatives.
And they become kind of like, I would say, like the reality stars of like the 60s.
So of course, like the audiences would be obsessed. So this show that's this summer on ABC, it's based on the best-selling book, The Astronaut Wives Club. Same title.
Makes sense.
And it's the first ladies of space, and they forge a friendship together, much like we have over this show.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
And over wine.
Yes, over wine. Well, today was the first time over wine, but
You know what I
we're
also
real
love
friends
about this show? Because I've seen some promos, and I'm big on fashion. The Astronaut Wives Club has some good fashion. So if you're into like some
good
60s
60s,
stuff,
yeah, that's like my favorite era of fashion.
I love
so
it.
I'd watch it for that. That's why I started watching Mad Men.
Marilou's already in.
When
I'm
is
on
it
board.
on, Marielou?
Thursday, June 18th.
On ABC.
Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you
Thursday,
check it out.
June 18th.
I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
We all will be there for that.
We'll be drinking some wine too.
Wearing some pearls.
Okay. Okay.
It's a date, ladies. I like where this is headed. Okay, another awkward moment in this episode.
There were so many in this episode.
So many awkward moments.
A plethora, in fact.
Yeah, let's talk about the Kevin-Danny interaction, if we will. When Kevin kind of takes it upon himself to go to Chelsea and bring up the whole,
Attack.
Yes.
I thought that was so bizarre, actually, because it just seemed... They don't have that kind of relationship. I mean, yes, they slept together, but they don't have the kind of relationship where he can gallivant over there and be like, by the way, do you think my brother assaulted me? Like, I don't know why he would think that she would give him any honest feedback on that. Even if she thought, yes, in fact, I do think he would have done that. She wouldn't have said yes.
I think he's just desperate at this point.
Yeah.
I think his
It
mind...
was dumb, though.
Yeah, but he seems...
It was dumb, because then when Eric shows up, I'm like, oh god, I thought like something bad was gonna happen.
Right.
But then they just, Eric goes in the house and he gets back in his car. But for a moment, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be another brawl. This is not gonna go down well.
Totally, and I did think that too.
Yeah.
But Kevin has proven to be a very impulsive character.
Absolutely.
And really, we've kind of seen that with various things that happens, he really kind of acts on his emotions very quickly and doesn't really think it through. So I could for sure see him having a moment of just his mind taking over and him just going crazy with these thoughts and just kind of becoming desperate of like, who did this? They messed up my
life
purchase.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
my
life.
life, my shipyard purchase, like all of these things that he had
body.
lined up. Yeah, everything got messed up. So he's just like really trying to find somebody, and I think when it clicked in his mind, oh my god, it could be Danny, he was just willing to go
wherever,
all the way to find it out, even if it meant to Chelsea and Eric's house and risking whatever run-in. He was just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Not smart.
I definitely was surprised when Kevin confronted Danny in the kitchen.
What was Danny gonna say? Yeah, I did it. Like, you know, like there's no easy like way to get that storyline closed because no one's gonna be honest with anyone unless, you know, it's like I'm not gonna admit that I had someone come and beat my brother up.
And once again, Danny was cool as a cucumber, like he always is. And here he's being called out for something he knows he was involved in, maybe indirectly, but he was involved somehow.
And he apologized.
And then what and then what he said about it too was that
as long as you apologize, everything is all right.
There's those one-liners in there.
Well, just like the whole foreshadowing thing, like it's it had such bigger meaning than that particular moment, and this is what they give us all season. These little gems of, to
keep us wanting more.
Oh, so we got to ask Bill, like we've asked all our other guests, are you Team Danny
at this point?
Were you Team Danny at this point?
Wow. That's so challenging.
Yeah, nothing like being put on the spot.
I know.
I left Team Danny episodes ago. So
I think you were always Team John.
Come on. True.
I'm Team Coach Taylor. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill.
Danny's one of these characters that you see how manipulative he is.
Yes.
And you see that, this guy is probably been through the ringer as far as doing bad stuff. I mean, he's done a ton of bad stuff in the show. But you can't help but have some severe empathy for the guy. You look at him and go, oh man, I feel so sorry for this guy. But you know something bigger is coming because it's almost like he's setting it up going, as long as you say you're sorry, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's a foreshadow of maybe some things to come. And I don't know anything about future shows or anything.
Of course not, right?
But, I guess I would say, I'm Team Danny at this point because I think I'm more Team Ben Mendelsohn. And that kind of goes hand in hand. I just think he's an amazing actor. And this is one of the best characters I've seen in a long time.
Amen to
that. I will agree with that. Can we say Emmy?
Emmy.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a consensus with all of our actors, all of our guests that have called in. Mm-hmm. They're like, still Team Danny.
AKA Allison's team. Yes, it's true.
He is manipulating everyone. It is all fake. Just because this accident happened when he was younger, I'm sorry you were blamed for it. Do not take your whole family down.
But we don't personally know Ben Mendelsohn. That's probably our problem.
Right, I think so. I know he has been phenomenal this season, no doubt.
Amazing. I will admit that. Amazing.
Yeah, this will be the one that really puts him, at that next level of superstardom where he's going to start getting movie roles and stuff. That's just. He's one of the formidable actors out there, in my opinion. He's going to be an A-lister, a top-notch Academy Award-winning actor.
I agree.
That's wonderful to hear. I know we agree 100%. We were definitely impressed by his performance this whole entire season,
the range
and
is
more
crazy.
To come.
Yes.
I know, even more to come. So speaking of Danny. Just this whole episode with everything that happened to and with Danny was just all across the board and just so crazy to me. The first thing that we see that I want to touch on is the transfer of the gun from Eric to Danny. We saw this kind of early in the episode.
And then from Danny to Kevin.
Yes. Right? Yes, so initially we see this. And so, obviously... Danny has asked for this. He's wanting this.
Well, he wanted it because that Ralph Lawler guy who we just met creeped him the hell out. Mm-hmm. He got the heebie-jeebies from that guy.
Isn't it funny that that's the character that took him to that level? All the rest of the people were fine, but that Ralph, he's a sketchy one.
It wasn't Rafi. It wasn't the bleached hair. It was that weird guy.
I think the bleached hair would do it.
No. Well, and then and this guy even tells him like Rafi's not coming back ever.
Yep.
He straight up tells him like,
and
I probably put him there too.
I think that's maybe what tipped him a little bit is that he understood what that meant and he thought, I need to maybe add a layer of protection from this crazy kooky dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So once again, Eric comes to the rescue. He delivers to him exactly what he asks, just like he...
But hesitantly. He was sort of like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
True. And the whole delivery of the gun was followed by the conversation that they had where Eric said... basically, this is getting crazy and it's your fault. You went way past me. I did not give you the go-ahead. You've messed everything up. You've put us all in danger. And like, here we are. And then Danny's response to me was, again, so surprising. When he came back and just said, oh, what? You're in this as much as I am. Like, if anything, we're equal partners in this. And then Eric retorts, no, we're not. You went over my head, went and did this above and beyond, and it is totally not equal. I thought that was funny. And for one moment, I was totally team Eric. I've been anti-Eric this whole entire time.
Until that moment.
I'm opposite of everyone.
Yeah. And for a moment I was like, Eric is 100% right. Like, Danny, yes, you stirred the pot. Yeah. You went above and beyond. You got this all, crazy. And now you're trying
Is usurp the right word?
Yes,
No,
he completely usurped Eric and just got everything all tied up and just way bigger than it needed to be.
Explosive, yes.
Yes. And now that it's all coming, now that it's all on the line, he's asking Eric still to be there for him and cover for him. And so I just thought that was
a sweet line when he was, I don't appreciate the I don't have brothers because that means John and Kevin don't mean anything to him. But it was sweet when he was like, people think I have 2 brothers, but I only have 1. So there is that bond there. But you're still criminals.
Right. Or was it?
Well, I really think that this one, he was actually being authentic because
I think so too.
There's a certain element when he's talking with everyone else and he's manipulating them that I did not see here, and I was like, oh, this is an actual genuine scene with Danny, even though he's upset. He really does feel like they're both equal partners in this. I didn't feel like any of this was trying to trick Eric.
And I think that justifying that point is that when he leaves on the bus, he calls Eric to warn him, and he goes to apologize kind of, but he can't. So he just hangs up the phone. But I think it's when he's with Eric, those moments, I think are very genuine.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually having second thoughts, or I'm second guessing my initial thoughts about his relationship with Eric and how much he really cares about Eric. And I think it's a combination of the fact that Danny left town and is now back in town. So one, that contradicts what he told Eric to do. And I just don't believe that, based on everything that John has done up until this point towards Danny, I just think that there's still so much that we've not sussed out between the two of them.
And I think that Eric, I'm sorry, I think that Danny cares about Eric, but I don't think it's to the point of defense, and I don't think that I think he still has that level of manipulation even on Eric, because there have been previous moments where he's also kind of manipulated him, and a few episodes ago he kind of took drugs with him and from him and went to party on his own, and there's certain things he doesn't include Eric on, just like this whole drug deal situation where he usurped Eric and went and did that all for himself.
Good word, Blake.
There we go, bringing it back in. But he did not include Eric as an equal partner, and even though he's saying these words to Eric, hey man, we're brothers, we're on the same level, blah blah blah,
it's is it empty?
It's is it really though? Because if it really was, would you have done all this stuff to Eric?
How are you still team Danny if you believe he doesn't even want to be friends with Eric?
I just think that there's still a level of dimension to his relationship with John that we have not encountered yet. And I still have faith in Danny boy. Danny boy.
Bill, what is your kind of take on this whole interaction between Eric and Danny's character? I know there's probably way more coming up in the following episodes, but thus far, do you think it's sincere, Danny, what he's telling to Eric in all of this?
Without giving spoilers.
Well, you know what? I can't, even just the same scene we're talking about with, Eric and the gun and Danny in the truck. Looking at that scene, I don't think anything Danny's saying is completely sincere, because I think Danny's got there's an agenda there we don't know about. Yes. We don't know what the end result is. So I don't think anybody's going to. I don't think anybody's safe.
No one is safe.
With Danny leaving Eric out of those bigger deals and the cocaine and all that stuff, I think by leaving him out, he's kind of leaving him behind.
Fully agreed. I think I'm on board with that.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about that.
But then we get Danny on the butt. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just said speaking about being on board.
Yes, and we have a couple more topics to touch on. But before we dive any deeper into the Danny-ness saga of this episode,
the Danny saga.
Yes, we want to tell you about something really cool and really exciting that's coming up. you can now apply to the Dance Battle America, ABC's newest competition special. From our very own AfterBuzz founder and e-host Maria Menounos and Julianne Hough, from Dancing with the Stars, of course, comes ABC's special Dance Battle America. How exciting, right?
Have you guys seen that?
I like that you just sung it too.
I know, that makes it better.
Dance Battle America.
It does. They have do Instagram videos.
Which are adorable.
They're
right?
amazing. I'm like,
They're
can I
fantastic.
just be in one of those?
You can.
Yes.
You can create your own.
Yes.
But I'm not cool enough.
Blake is getting to that.
We're going to kick this off right now, ladies, because, as we all may know, as Kate just let us know, during the holiday seasons over the last 2 years, Julianne and Maria have engaged in a fearsome dance battle over social media, as we've seen on Instagram.
Videos are
Yes.
good.
And once the challenge took off, celebrities like Kate Hudson and Amber Riley joined in, and the dance battle craze began. Just from social media. Now the ladies are challenging everyone in America to battle it out for the chance to fly out to Los Angeles and compete in person on the show. How cool does that sound?
I mean, that's pretty legit.
Yes, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for sure. So if you want the chance to dance on network television, go to dancebattleamericacasting.com for more information on how to submit your video and any other, crucial points that you might want to find out. And don't forget to also post everything that you do on social media using hashtag DanceBattleABC.
And we'll retweet you.
And there you have it. As simple as that.
We're gonna
get to it, everyone.
We're gonna plan our own dance
We're
battle.
gonna do it.
I feel like Bill's gonna be part of it.
Bill can be a part of our dance battle. It'll be
The funny
perfect.
part about it is I love dance shows.
Yes!
Yeah.
So this is perfect.
Are you a DJ, Bill? Because your Twitter handle is BK the DJ.
Yes, I have. I'm not anymore, but
The Twitter remains.
I've been a disc jockey for 35 years.
Love it.
So
Wow.
I still. What's that?
I said, wow.
Yeah, it's been fun, and a lot of people ask me how do you make that transition from radio to television and films. You do radio, and you have to walk in that studio and hang all your problems on the outside of that door, and entertain people.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing where you're playing, you're kind of playing a character. You could have the worst day and your car broke down and your dog died and your trailer got repossessed. And I worked in country radio, by the way.
I
But
love country
Kate's
music.
fave.
what's that?
I love country music.
Yeah, and it's all been country radio for the most part, but it's you have to walk in that studio and pretend like every day it's just that you're on cloud nine, and so you get a little opportunity to play a character of sorts, and then it gives you a lot of experience being comfortable in front of a microphone or in front of a crowd.
Right, it's
So
surprisingly
it helps.
similar. Yeah, people may not realize, but it is surprisingly similar, radio and TV, and just kind of being on air, being that presence.
Right.
Yeah,
is,
it
absolutely.
was a fun job, and it's still great to do. I still work in clubs from time to time. Go out and entertain a bunch of
Very
18 to
fun.
34-year-olds for the most part.
Aw.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Bill's got the music in his soul.
That's right.
So bring
We
it back
like
to speaking of past lives, like
Yes.
Bill's past life, we've got Danny has visions of his sister again, which we haven't seen in a long time on the bus.
What necklace is she wearing, Marielou?
It's a seahorse.
Whose necklace is a seahorse?
It's Sarah's.
Oh, boom.
Boom. I love that scene, that moment that just happened between the two of them. There we have it.
We didn't even plan that.
I know, it was beautiful and
We're just vibing.
organic and natural, and I was with it.
Yeah, it was
yes.
nice that we finally got to see what the hell happened to Sarah. For real.
I was very happy. I'm
Yeah.
not happy with what happened, but
Yeah.
happy to know.
Is it wrong of me to feel like I somehow thought it was going to be a little more like gnarly? Not that her dying was not gnarly. Don't get me wrong. It was terrible.
You thought
and
she was
sad.
going to get tore up in the propeller.
Yes,
that's
I
what I
thought
thought.
it was some sort of more like gruesome, horrible, like Danny. Like Danny
That's the
didn't
thing,
do this.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
It was an accident. And it's all Mama Rayburn's fault in my head. She's the one that made Sarah upset in the first place. Danny was just trying to cheer her up.
Yeah, let's
all
bring
Mama
Mama Rayburn
Rayburn
into this. I think this is a great moment. So we see initially in the episode the flashback to the day that it all happened. And we see Mama Rayburn, of course, in her room having her kind of, meltdown or breakthrough or whatever we want to call it. And it's the moment she decides to leave, essentially. And so Sarah, this is what I thought was interesting too. Sarah is there at the door, kind of hearing
bedroom,
all
yeah.
of this, yes, to the bedroom. And Mama Rayburn says... I told you I can't take anymore. And that made me think, was she saying this to Sarah directly?
No.
Or did Sarah overhear it?
She overheard it.
Okay.
I think she just overheard the arguing, and probably Danny and John were privy to it. They're older. They know that their parents fight and maybe some issues, but they're maybe guarding it from the little girls. And that Sarah, this was like the first time Sarah was really hearing the issues.
Here's the thing, though. In the prior flashbacks that we've seen of her in her bedroom, it seemed like she was alone in her bedroom. So I was under the impression that she must have been on the phone with her husband or something. It was like a phone call.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in the house.
I didn't, because they don't show him, but maybe I always thought she was talking to him. Yeah.
Right. So I think it must have been like a phone call, and she gets off the phone abruptly. And
I almost don't even know that it was him she was talking to.
oh, someone else maybe. I just can't take it anymore.
Because
it's possible.
The stuff that she was saying was really kind of just like, it's better if I leave. I can't take it anymore. Kind of like generic things, not really directed at Robert.
him.
Yeah, so I
could have
felt
been a
like,
friend.
yes,
Yeah.
it could have been a friend or family member, somebody else, not necessarily him. Anyways, I did think for a moment that maybe she was saying that to Sarah, and that kind of set everything off, kind of where they came in with the flashback of it. Anyways, so
I think she just overheard it. She was a concerned child.
She was very concerned. Well, that's trouble.
Yeah,
She
it
is
is.
definitely
She was
trouble.
upset.
Yeah. So Danny then takes her, and we see her go into the boat with Danny. John gives his last words that we heard throughout the episode.
You need to go with an adult. Come on, guys.
Right, go with an adult. And then, of course, we see what happens finally in the flashback. We see what happens to Sarah, as sad as it is. But then Danny really takes it to a scary level later in the episode when he involves John's daughter, Janie. And he's really messing with John at this point. He really
is
just
so messing with
Janie,
John.
come on.
so messing with him. Yeah, and but I think, Janie's just kind of, a rebellious teen. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't like her parents telling her she can't do stuff.
Kids.
So she goes with creepy Uncle Danny, crazy Uncle Danny, and that boat scene was just like, I couldn't even take it. It was so creepy.
So when John calls the inn to be like, where are they? The worker is like, Danny told me to tell you that it's okay because she's with an adult. I was like, slam.
Yep.
That just hits you right there. He gave her the seahorse necklace.
I know.
He's just messing with
Because
everyone.
he's like, he just wants him to feel what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and that's
what he-
actually that was a key moment on the bus when he was talking to his dead sister. When she said, "What is it that you really want?" And he said, "I want them to feel what I feel." And I feel like that's like modus operandi right there.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna do whatever he can do so that they feel what he feels.
And on
nervous
top of
for the
that,
next two
he
episodes,
pulled
guys.
out the yellow note that we saw in
But we still don't know. We still
the
toast.
pilot.
That was the toast at the dinner. We don't know, but
That is what I've
I'm
been
really
waiting
excited
for.
for the next two episodes because I'm sure it's gonna get crazy.
Oh, yes. Bill, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you so much for not giving us too many spoilers. I know that must be
Really
nearly
hard.
impossible.
Nearly
to do.
impossible at episode 11. Yes.
Well, thank you all very much for having me. It's been an honor, and I'm thrilled for you guys to get to watch the next two episodes because it's going to get better. It's going to get
hairier.
There's a lot of misdirection that you haven't seen yet, and everybody that I know is just chomping at the bit for season 2.
Yay!
As am I.
Yes.
Bill, is there anything upcoming for you that we can watch you in or
Keep an eye out
yes.
for.
I've got a scene with, and it's always the precursor of this is if they don't cut me out. I have a scene with Dwayne Johnson for his new series.
Yes,
Ballers! on
Ballers!
HBO,
Yes!
which comes up.
So excited
June
about that.
21st, I think, is the debut. So I'm in episode 4. I play a physician.
Cool.
And I've got some voiceover work with the Golf Channel that's coming up for a new series they've got that they're getting ready to launch that I can't reveal. But
Ooh, top
so
secret.
that's on the horizon, and tons of auditions. Just did one tonight.
And you're going to do Dance Battle America on top of it.
That's next.
And that.
And that.
Lovely.
More importantly, Dance Battle America is in your future this holiday
yes.
season.
And remind the
that's-
good people where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. It's in Twitter. It's at BK the DJ.
Awesome.
And Facebook is just Bill Kelly. And look for me on IMDb. And that's about it.
Perfect. Bill, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Have a good
great night.
evening. Bye, Bill.
Bye.
And I will tell you guys, if you look for him on Facebook, there's another Bill Kelly who's also an actor that I messaged first.
He's stealing Bill's shine.
And he's like, what's Bloodline? I was like, sorry, bro. Wrong person.
Followed by, how dare you? You need to know what Bloodline is.
I was like, you should watch it. It's great. Bye.
That's so
Well, didn't you get the memo? Yeah.
So look at the picture. Look at the profile picture.
Good morning. People need to know. Facebook is a confusing land, let me say. I am so excited for the next episodes. We cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on our recap of episode 11. I've been your host, Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I'm Alison Dean. You can find me at the Alison Dean on all social media and on our YouTube show, Winos and Onesies.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kate Aquillano. You can find me on all social media at Kate Aquillano.
Yeah. And I'm Marielou Mandl. You can find me on all social media at Marielou Mandl. And I think Sally's going to snap next week.
Sally's going to snap!
Something's happening.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.